Animation is cool, but I usually start my videos off with a question, so isn't animation cool? Chances are you've seen an animation here or there before, whether it's been in a Disney movie, or in a commercial, or in a flip book during class. Animation is an art form that stitches a bunch of still images together to make it look like they're moving. Sometimes those images are 2D images, drawn by hand, like in anime or Disney movies, and sometimes those images are created by a computer in a 3D space. Either way, animation's really cool because your imagination is the only limit to your creativity. So if you're interested in your own animations, maybe making a cartoon, or a mystery, or an adventure, or an action, or something that you would see on the big silver screen in a movie theater one day, this is not the video for you. We only have like 6 minutes to make this. But if you came here to enjoy the basics of animation through stop motion animation, then this is the video for you. Today we'll be learning about stop motion animation. Let's get started. Panama City Beach Library, this is Kyle. How may I help you? So here's what you need to know if you want to get started with stop motion animation. Trust me, it's exactly like it sounds. You take a bunch of still images and you stitch them together so that it looks like they're moving. But images of what, you ask?
Well, that depends on what kind of stop motion animation you're looking to do. What this video will focus on is something called object motion. Object motion is a type of stop motion animation, but the goal is to use 3D objects like toys or dolls rather than drawn images. This includes things like claymation, using clay, cutout motion using 2D cutouts like paper, puppet animation using puppets, and pixelation using the human body.
The stop motion that we see in movies usually makes use of one or two methods of stop motion animation. For example, the Lego Movie made use of 3,863,484 individual Lego bricks in the creation of the entire movie. But were all of those real Lego bricks? No. Many of them were actually made in three-dimensional programming in computers. Could you imagine how long a project like that would take, taking each and every individual Lego brick and putting it in position for every picture? Forever. But that's why sometimes we use computers to generate the objects that we can't make ourselves. Of course, the real stop-motion animators, they still use physical props for everything. If you want to learn more about what goes into building puppets and stages for real stop-motion animation, like Paranorman, Box Trolls, and Missing Link, check out Leica Studios on YouTube. They're really good. They're the experts at this. Even with experts and tons of experience, it still takes weeks to develop 2 to 3 minutes of actual footage. For example, Coraline took 1 year and 8 months to shoot, Missing Link took 2 years, and Nightmare Before Christmas took 3. Again, we only have a few minutes in this video, so let's get started with some actual tips on what to do if you want to make some stop motion animation.
First, decide on what sort of animation you want to do. I used a whiteboard for a few of the animations and a Lego set for the others. The Lego set is object motion. It makes use of actual 3D objects, but it's best to use whatever you have available at home. That might be toys or coins or basic kitchen utensils. Pencils, paper, or even large objects like balls can work. Whatever it is, make sure you have a way of keeping it still, and be aware of your surroundings so you won't have to worry about your props being there 1 minute and gone the next. A prop is a person or an object that appears in an animation, film, or movie. If you're using a piece of paper in your project, then the piece of paper is your prop. If you have a person swinging a sword, then the sword is a prop. Some stages have huge props that look like buildings or trees or bushes. When you put things in the background, it can bring your animation to life, making it look like it takes place in a real place, like it would in the real world. Second, once you've decided on what style you're going to be animating in and what props you'll use, it's time to storyboard. A storyboard is a plan for what you want to animate. You could dive right in and start animation, but if you really want to have a beginning, middle, and end for your story, it's best to have a plan. Now try to picture what your animation will look like once it's in motion. Do you want someone to open a door and find something scary inside? Or have a pair of kung fu fighters having a sparring match? Try to pick a topic that you would enjoy watching, then break it up into 3 chunks: beginning, middle, and end. For my storyboard, I want my character to give a wave, then chop down a tree, then to climb as high as he can. Once he's there, he can wave again. And that's it. The story doesn't have to be big or difficult. In fact, make your first animation easy so that you can practice. Then as you improve, you'll be able to tackle projects that really come to life on the screen. Now third. Now that we have our props and our storyboard plan, it's time to get everything set up for shooting. Go ahead and find a wide open space that'll be easy to set up your props. Have your storyboard handy and start building the stage for your beginning. You'll need a way to take pictures one at a time for this. What I recommend is a cell phone with some sort of stand. You can set it up on books or lean it against the wall, just make sure the phone doesn't move very much. For the actual picture taking, I recommend a stop motion app called Stop Motion Studio because it's available on iOS and Android and because it's completely free to access the basic features. Point your camera at your scene and start up the app. It's as easy as pressing New Movie, tapping the camera, and starting to shoot. Then begin to take your first images. Now, a still image isn't what we're aiming for, so you'll have to create the illusion of movement. The way you do that is by making tiny changes to what is happening in your scene and taking another picture. In my animation, my character waves his hand. I took a different picture anytime I moved his hand even a little bit, making sure to include all the places where his hand would go in between. Same with walking. If you move things too much between pictures, your movie will look jumpy. Take your time, be patient, and move your character very slowly. It will pay off by making your movie look smooth in the end. This is also the importance of storyboarding. Since I know that my character is supposed to wave, I have him wave. But the next step in the video is having him chop down a tree. That means he needs to go from waving to walking toward the tree, which is more animation for me to do. It's important to keep in mind where your character is coming from and where they are going. Do this for each part of your storyboard, beginning, middle, and end. Once you're done, you'll have the option to save your video and mess around with some settings. If your video plays too slowly, try adjusting the frame rate by clicking on the gear and sliding to a higher number. The higher the number, the faster your phone will move from picture to picture, and the faster your video will move. As a goal, many silent movies of the past were filmed between 16 and 24 frames per second. Try to make your movie look smooth when your number is in that range. And if it doesn't look smooth, no worries. You can always try again. Take more pictures and make fewer movements between each of them till you can really create the illusion of motion.
And that's all for the stop motion video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made your own stop motion videos, we'd love to see them. Share them with us on our Facebook page so that we can have a look. If you want some inspiration on some stop motion videos you can watch at home, you can feel free to check them out from the local library and we'll deliver them curbside to your car. Stay tuned in to the library's Facebook and YouTube page. We have one more summer reading program video for you guys to see, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you next time. Okay, I'll take that.